Hello everyone, I'm Manish Raizada. I'm a professor at the University of Guelph, and this is my 5-minute lecture on innovations to help subsistence women farmers and girls, the 10-step Sac-Nepal model. This is what I'm going to talk about today, a subsistence female farmer. There's 2 billion adults and children around the world who rely on smallholder subsistence agriculture. They live on 400 million subsistence farms around the world. Imagine eking out a living, all the profits and all the food, from a parcel of land that's 200 meters by 100 meters. One has to target this population because in developing countries, 60 to 95% of the population live on subsistence farms. They need more local farm production for both food and profit. Unfortunately, 30 to 80% of the population in these areas are unemployed or underemployed. So how do we help 2 billion rural remote people, including 1 billion females, have more nutritious food, more jobs, and more profit for schools and primary reproductive health? Well, step one was to survey local women farmers of what they needed, essentially market research. And one of the things that was identified is that the way women farmers remove kernels of corn off a cob is traditionally by hand, like this, or beating it with a stick. That's fine with a few cobs, but imagine having to do this with thousands of cobs. It's hard on the shoulders, it damages the kernels. Well, how do we solve this problem? Well, when we were thinking about this, we realized that handouts wreck local economies. Free tools, for example, ruin local tool entrepreneurs and can cause local job losses. So any innovation must be sold to create local jobs. Now, how much can a subsistence women farmer afford and is in their decision-making control? Well, both surveys in India and Africa suggest it's $1 to $3 US. So this is what we came up with. So step two was to nominate, test, and sell a simple, woman-friendly, and affordable innovation. It is a simple $2 corn sheller. And it goes like this. It's a piece of metal with some prongs on it, and a woman simply goes like this and removes the kernels. And they love this tool. So step three is we did participatory testing with a small group of test farmers. And we asked them, do you prefer the traditional method? And all the farmers said, no way. Do you prefer the hand corn sheller? All of the farmers said yes, with respect to tiredness. So we knew we were onto something special here. Step four then is we scaled up the corn sheller by selling it to alcohol, cigarette, and snack food distributors who in turn sold it to remote village stalls. Anywhere I've traveled in the world, including the heart of Africa, if I wanted to, I could buy alcohol or cigarettes. So pre-existing distribution networks already exist. Now, if you were to see this product in the remote Himalayas, how in the world would you know what it is? So step five is we accompanied each product with a picture about its purpose or use for low literacy female farmers. Now, how do we know whether this product was effective or not? Step six is we measured the impacts of this product on women and households using mobile phone surveys of consumer farmers. Even in the Himalayas, the cell phone penetration rate is 83%. It's similarly high throughout Africa. We created an incentive system for vendors to give us the cell phone numbers of purchasers. What were the mobile survey results from the Himalayas? Well, the question was, for example, who used the tool? Exclusively female, it was 59%. Both male and female, this became interesting. It was 23%. Exclusively male, to our surprise, 18%. What was traditionally an exclusive female practice has now shifted the gender balance. In other words, farm mechanization, what I call toys for big boys, caused a gender shift in labor. Now, one may argue that a simple corn sheller, is not going to have a big impact. But it starts farmers on an innovation pipeline. If they use the corn sheller, it liberates some labor for more productive work. It damages the kernels less so they can sell the corn for more. They can use that profit to buy a more elaborate corn sheller. With the profit gained from that, they can now purchase a fully mechanized corn sheller. Through this pipeline, female hardship reduces, female time increases, and females can use this time to help benefit the family, increase income, improve their education, or best of all, play. Step seven was to expand the sustainable agriculture kit portfolio. And in fact, we currently have up to 146 potential products and agronomic practices for farmers to pick and choose from. Combined, a Sustainable Agriculture Kit, or SAC menu, is a regional menu of innovations for smallholder farmers to pick and choose from, much like a restaurant menu, because an individual household may only need 1 or 2 of these products. What is the current SAC Nepal menu of innovations? In Nepal, we focused on about a dozen innovations. One is a grain storage bag that allows oxygen to flow out but not back in, and so fungi and insects cannot thrive. That saves about 50% of the grain harvest. This is a $2 seed package of about 10 vegetables that improve micronutrient nutrition for pregnant women and children. Gardening gloves. Smallholder farmers around the world have never seen gardening gloves, so they are spreading manure or picking thorny plants by hand. This costs $1. A weed raker. Around the world, women spend up to 50% of their on-farm time pulling weeds by hand. They designed this tool to reduce the amount of labor required. I'm showing you a picture of the root system of a bean plant. And what we sold are probiotic bacteria that could be coated onto seeds. And what they did is they allowed these plants to naturally produce their own organic nitrogen fertilizer. This is a farm rake, allowing women to not use their hands to collect manure. This is a bag, and we introduce a new practice. Traditionally, women, when they harvest large tuber yams from under the ground, they have to dig, and that requires a lot of labor. We introduced this practice of planting yams in these bags. Now at harvest time, they simply turn the bag upside down and harvest it, and they love it. We sold tarpaulins so that women can make their own small greenhouses to sell tomatoes and other vegetables commercially, and additional tarpaulins so they can collect rainwater in the monsoon season to use it for irrigation in the dry season for these vegetable crops. And a fruit picker. So instead of little boys climbing trees to collect fruits, which is dangerous, they can use this tool. Many of these products cost about $2 within the household range of women. What were the innovation criteria? Well, they had to be portable, labor-friendly, affordable, simple, durable, add local value, needed by farmers, gender-friendly, and most importantly, scalable. I know you're waiting for a great acronym. This is the best I could come up with, PLASTANGS. The important thing is that all these criteria are what we used to decide which products to purchase. The ultimate goal here was to build resiliency of rural women and girls. What was the impact of all these tools and practices after only 24 months of SAC product sales? We impacted 65,000 households, 162,000 women and girls, and in total 272,000 people. How did we do this? The cornerstone was partnering with Liberd, a local Nepalese grassroots NGO. We partnered with universities in Canada that supplied researchers and some innovative ideas. Funding came from the Canadian government. The second pillar of this is that Liberd spun off a company, and it was the company called Animal Bew that sold these products to farmers. Finally, Liberd partnered with the government of Nepal. That permitted local cooperation, and it institutionalized some of these innovations into national government policy. Another cornerstone of this project was mutual respect, partnership with farmers and all partners, and participatory approaches in our research. Throughout the process, we tried to empower female networks and women leaders. Step 9, we wanted to also benefit the Canadian private sector. So SAC Nepal organized a bilateral trade conference between Canada and Nepal for the agri-food sector. This was attended by important officials, including Nepalese ministers. It involved 500 Univ Guelph students who created the materials for this project. Next, we need to focus on Africa. Why? Africa's population is exploding at a time of rapid climate change, going from 1.2 billion to 2.5 billion to 4 billion people. But there is a new Africa that's emerging, such as in Lagos, Nigeria, or in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. So we can't use the traditional model of sending students over to build schools. Instead, what we need is technical inventiveness, new ideas and perspective, and targeted investments. So step 10 is we're building resources to franchise the SAC innovation model to other nations, including in Africa, starting with pictures of best innovation practices. This is a 195-page picture book that we've created for African nations. So in summary today, I've told you about the SAC approach, a 10-step model to scale up innovations to impact subsistence women farmers and girls. This was made possible with funding and a terrific partnership through the Canadian International Food Security Research Fund. The purpose of this was to fund research to accelerate development, and it was jointly funded by Global Affairs Canada and IDRC. I'd like to thank the entire SAC-Nepal team, and if you're interested in more resources about the project, please visit our website, watch videos on our YouTube channel, and view free picture lessons. Thank you.